Hello, my name is Jake Otto, and I am an investment specialist on the Impact Bond team at Wellington Management, and I am here to answer the questions that were posed to us by Phenix Capital ahead of the Impact Summit this year. Yes, we do believe that public markets are going to have to play a significant role in addressing the UN SDGs if we are going to achieve them by 2030. Estimates by the UN actually show that in order to achieve those goals by 2030, we need to deploy approximately 2 to 4% of global GDP directly at the UN SDGs every year between now and then. In order to achieve that type of scale, we really do believe that public markets are going to have to play a significant role in that. And even during these uncertain times that we've seen during the COVID crisis, I've been very encouraged by the developments we've seen in the sustainability and impact bond markets in particular, where I focus. We've seen both our clients, investors, continue to be interested in impact solutions, and we've seen bond issuers continuing to take on challenges as laid out before them in the UN SDGs through issuing debt. And we've been able to, it's really reflected in the numbers that we've seen in the growth of the green and sustainability debt markets this year. But even looking beyond the green and sustainability bond markets, we are finding opportunities to address the UN SDGs. For example, SDG number 9 comes to mind, industry, innovation, and infrastructure, as well as SDG 11, sustainable cities and communities. We're able to invest in those SDGs through things like clean transportation projects, as well as things like green buildings. We've also seen opportunities to invest in SDG number 7, affordable and clean energy, by bringing new solar and wind capacity online. And we're also able to invest in SDG number 10, reduced inequalities, and in SDG 1, no poverty, by investing in affordable housing solutions made available to workforce and low-income earners. I think one of the key objectives of our engagement strategy with portfolio companies is to ensure that they're operating sustainably so that their impact can exist out into the future. One of the topics we've been able to engage with frequently with our portfolio companies is the topic of impact measurement and impact reporting. Ultimately, portfolio companies want to make sure that they are making progress towards their impact objectives, and we can help them establish best practices on how to measure and then ultimately report impact in a transparent way to their investors. Our engagements can also be a thought partnership and a sharing of thematic research. At Wellington, we have a partnership with a climate think tank called Woods Hole. And recently, we did a climate review with one of our real estate portfolio companies to help them understand how their real estate portfolio might be exposed to particular climate risks, things like rising sea levels or increased occurrence of weather events like hurricanes. So in that regard, our own research at Wellington can help benefit our portfolio companies, and we can share that through our engagements. I think one of the key elements of our impact measurement process is that right at the outset of analyzing an impact opportunity, we're already starting to think about what it is we're going to measure to see that that investment is making progress towards its impact thesis. And those two things need to be related. I think there's a lot of good tools out there to help investors make sure their impact metrics that they're measuring and reporting are related to the impact thesis of their investments. I'll flag the IRIS catalog offered by the GIN as one of those examples. The IRIS is a catalog of commonly accepted impact metrics that are linked to different social and environmental impacts. I also think it's really important that investment managers start to accept commonly used frameworks for reporting impact, because that allows their clients to compare impact across different funds and different strategies to ultimately understand what their total portfolio impact will be. And we're starting to see standards developed in the industry. The Impact Management Project is one of those standards of frameworks for reporting impact that we're seeing gaining a lot of traction, and we're starting to incorporate more in our impact measurement and reporting. When we're assessing investment opportunities for their impact case, we're considering both the positive impact and also any potential negative externalities that might be associated with that impact activity. And if there is an instance where the negative externalities are material, it could potentially keep an investment out of our impact universe and out of our portfolios. As an example, we've looked at biotech as well as pharmaceutical companies that have been doing very innovative things on the drug development front, but ultimately we've seen that they've engaged in predatory pricing practices, which has kept us away from making investments in the past. We've also considered things like the activities of international development banks and the work that they're doing with job creation schemes. And while that might be good for upward social mobility and creating new jobs, we need to look at the industries that those jobs are being created in. And if those industries are things like energy generation through fossil fuels, that could really heavily weigh on our decision as to whether something is considered impact or not. So we need to be considering all of these different factors and taking a holistic approach to how we analyze both positive and negative impacts. And at Wellington, we're fortunate to have a very deep bench of credit analysts, ESG analysts, as well as sustainability analysts to help us consider all these factors.